what if the entire universe is, like, completely dependent on your liver?
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, seriously. Because, when we look up at the night sky, there's this almost, I don't know, mathematical expectation
Yeah.
that we're supposed to feel small.
Right, the classic existential dread.
Exactly. We're taught to look at the infinite blackness and the sheer scale of all those stars and just automatically categorize ourselves as these totally insignificant specks on a floating rock.
Which is the default modern setting. We view the universe as this cold, indifferent void, and humanity is just along for the ride.
But the ancient philosophy we're diving into today claims the exact opposite. We're stepping into this worldview where the cosmos is this massive, volatile machine constantly on the brink of catastrophic failure.
Yeah, and human biology is essentially the only thing keeping it from tearing itself apart.
It's wild.
Yeah.
So welcome to today's deep dive. Our mission for you today is to decode some incredibly dense Eastern philosophy. We're exploring a fascinating lecture transcript and some accompanying diagram detailing the core teachings of Daesun Jinrikyo.
And we really want to unpack exactly why this system says the universe needs you, like how your physical body is quite literally built to manage it.
Right. And what it actually looks like to wield the forces of heaven and earth without, destroying everything in the process.
It's a profoundly empowering picture of what a human being actually is. But to even begin to understand it, we have to kind of completely redefine what we're made of.
Okay, so let's start there. The texts introduce this foundational concept called the three powers, or Samje. And those powers are heaven, earth, and humanity.
And the crucial detail there is placement. The sources really emphasize that humanity sits exactly in the middle of heaven and earth.
But not in the like sandwich meat, right? Just sandwiched between the sky above and the dirt below.
No, not spatially. In this philosophical architecture, middle translates to the core. It's the axle of a wheel.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, everything revolves around it, and everything has to pass through it to actually function.
Which means we are the conduit. And because we occupy this core position, the texts describe a human being as a true microcosm of the universe.
Right, we don't just live inside the universe. The universe literally lives inside us.
So the sources state that we contain the raw cosmic energy of the five elements, right? Water, fire, metal, wood, and earth.
Exactly.
But this is where I struggle a bit with the physical mechanics. Because the texts claim we store this raw cosmic energy inside our five organs: the liver, the heart, the spleen, the lungs, and the kidneys.
Yeah, it gets very literal.
But modern medicine looks at those organs and just sees biological plumbing. There are filters, pumps, gas exchange sacs. They keep the blood clean. How does a biological filter interact with a metaphysical cosmic force?
Well, the source material actually anticipates that exact modern skepticism.
Yeah.
It draws a really sharp contrast between the physical view and the metaphysical view.
Okay, so
To understand the mechanism, you have to look at the traditional concept of resonance, the idea that things of a similar nature naturally interact with and attract each other. So in this philosophy, your liver isn't just filtering toxins, it is structurally and energetically resonant with the element of wood, which represents creation and new beginnings.
wait, so the physical tissue is literally vibrating with that energy.
Basically, yeah. Your heart resonates with fire. Your kidneys resonate with water. The organs are literal physical storage batteries.
Wow.
When you breathe, when you meditate, when you act, you are pulling in these elemental energies. And these specific biological tissues are the only things in the universe capable of holding and circulating them.
Okay, I can visualize the organs as batteries holding these different frequencies.
Right.
But, I mean, a battery implies that I'm supposed to power something, right?
Exactly.
If I have all this cosmic energy just sitting inside my chest cavity, what is the universe expecting me to do with it?
Well, to understand the output, we have to look at how the universe itself acts on a macro scale. Heaven doesn't just sit there statically, it expresses its energy continuously through the cycle of the four seasons.
Spring, summer, autumn, and winter.
Right. We experience them as weather patterns, but the text insists these are the literal gears of cosmic time-space energy turning. It's this continuous four-part operating system: birth, growth, gathering, and storing.
Okay, so if I'm the microcosm, because I'm the mirror image of the universe, then that seasonal operating system has to exist inside of me too.
It does. And the mechanism for how it translates into human behavior is honestly one of the most fascinating parts of this philosophy.
It really is.
When the raw energy of the four seasons enters the human mind, it undergoes a transformation. It actually manifests as the four core human virtues.
Right. And I want to break down the causality there. Because at first glance, connecting a literal season to a human moral virtue sounds like, I don't know, poetry, not mechanics.
It sounds like a metaphor.
Exactly. But if you look at the function of the seasons, the logic holds up perfectly. Take spring. Spring is the energy of bursting forth, seeds cracking open, nurturing new life.
Yeah, that birthing frequency.
Right. And when that hits the human mind, it manifests as benevolence, the psychological desire to nurture and create life in others.
The transition into summer follows that exact same mechanical logic. Summer is intense heat, massive expansion, rapid growth.
But unchecked, intense growth becomes chaotic, right? Like a jumble, overgrown and competing for resources.
Exactly. So that summer energy translates in the human mind into righteousness, the establishment of order, structure, and moral boundaries to manage that intense growth.
Okay, then you hit autumn, the harvest season. Autumn is cold. It's about cutting down the crops, separating the wheat from the chaff, letting the dead leaves fall away.
Right, it's a very decisive energy.
And psychologically, that cutting energy becomes propriety, the ability to discern what's appropriate, cut away the excess, and maintain social harmony by keeping only what's necessary.
Which leaves winter. Winter is the energy of retreating underground. Everything is cold, dark, and still on the surface, but beneath the frost, the essential seeds of life are being protected for the next cycle.
So it's about preservation.
Exactly. When that storing energy enters the human mind, it becomes wisdom. The ability to hold on to deep, essential truths, keeping them safe and dormant until the time is right to act.
Okay, so understanding all this, realizing that my internal virtues of benevolence, righteousness, propriety, and wisdom are directly wired to the literal turning of the cosmos.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the ultimate goal?
What do you mean?
Like if I sit on a mountaintop and just meditate on my connection to the seasons, have I fulfilled my role?
According to Dasun Jinriho, simply knowing this connection exists is defined merely as having wisdom.
Clearly wisdom.
Yeah, the text is very clear that while wisdom is a high achievement, it's fundamentally passive. You're just observing the machinery. The actual goal of this philosophy goes far beyond passive meditation.
You have to move past mere wisdom.
Right. You have to attain what the texts call courage or power.
And courage means active execution. It means taking that stored battery power in your organs and actively wielding the time-space energy.
You step into the role of a cosmic operator. You use those virtues not just to be a good person, but to actively manage the universe alongside heaven and earth.
Which, honestly, introduces a massive problem for me.
How so?
Well, if humans are designed to wield the literal power of the cosmos, how do we do it without becoming tyrannical?
Oh, right.
I mean, human history is basically just a long list of people getting a tiny bit of power and immediately using it to destroy their enemies or build monuments to themselves. How do we wield universal influence without our own selfishness tearing the system apart?
It's a huge risk. The only way to survive wielding that much power is to mimic the leadership style of heaven and earth. We have to look at how the universe itself manages creation.
And this brings up a quote from the sources that initially stopped me in my tracks. It's originally from Laozi's Tao Te Ching, and it reads, "Heaven and earth are not humane. They treat the 10,000 things as straw dogs."
It's a heavy quote.
When I first read that, it sounded horrific. Like, wait, the universe treats us like disposable trash. Treating humanity like a straw dog does not sound like a model for good leadership.
Out of context, it sounds incredibly cruel, but understanding the actual historical mechanism of the straw dog ritual changes the meaning entirely.
Okay, unpack that for us.
In ancient times, a dog made of woven straw was used as a stand-in for a sacrifice during this highly sacred ceremony. And while the ritual was happening, that straw dog was treated with the absolute utmost reverence.
Placed on the altar, decorated, all that.
Right, honored as the most important object in the world. But the absolute second the ritual was over, the straw dog was tossed into the street and trampled.
So the metaphor isn't about cruelty or treating life like garbage.
No, it's about a total, absolute lack of attachment. Heaven and earth create the 10,000 things. They nurture all life. They provide the sun, the rain, the soil.
But they have absolutely no desire for possession.
Exactly. They never claim ownership over their creations, When the season is over, they just let it go. They never brag, they never seek validation, and they never demand gratitude for keeping us alive.
Right. The universe doesn't send you a guilt trip text asking why you never called to say thank you for the oxygen.
Exactly.
And the source material contrasts this universal leadership with how humans typically operate. It categorizes humanity into small people and great people.
Yeah, this distinction is so important.
Small people practice what the text calls visible virtue, or yangdiak. They want credit. They want their name on the side of the hospital they funded. They want popularity, and they need everyone to know about their good deeds.
It's all about the ego.
The closest modern parallel I can think of is, like, a toxic parent. The parent who provides for their child but then constantly guilt trips them by bringing up all the sacrifices they made. I put a roof over your head. I paid for your school, so you owe me.
That need for validation, that demand for a return on investment is the exact opposite of cosmic leadership.
Right.
True leadership requires what the texts call yumdiak, which is hidden virtue. A great person nurtures growth without any interference and without any expectation of credit. They eliminate the selfish ego entirely, acting exactly like heaven and earth.
But practically speaking, leading without ego is agonizing for humans. We're deeply wired for social validation. Why is it so incredibly hard for us to practice this hidden virtue?
The difficulty stems from the very forces we are tasked with managing. We're dealing with yin and yang, and these aren't just abstract concepts of, light and dark.
Right, it's not just a neat little symbol.
No, they are volatile, extreme, constantly clashing forces of nature. The texts describe this dynamic as the taiji world. The logic is that you cannot have pure yin or pure yang existing in isolation.
Right, it's structurally impossible, like trying to build a staircase that only has a top without a bottom.
Perfect analogy. But when these two forces are unbalanced, when one dominates the other, the results aren't just like bad moods, they're apocalyptic.
And the source material anchors this in sobering historical anecdotes to show the physical stakes. Heaven is aligned with fire, representing extreme yang energy. Earth is aligned with water, representing extreme yin energy.
And when yang dominates the system, unchecked by yin, you get events like the catastrophic 7-year drought of the Shang dynasty.
7 years of drought.
Yeah. Pure fire scorched the earth, crops withered, and civilization almost collapsed under the heat. On the flip side, when yin dominates unchecked by yang, you get the devastating 9-year flood of Emperor Yao.
9 years of flooding.
Pure water washing everything away, drowning cities, erasing boundaries.
So heaven is extreme fire. Earth is extreme water. And left to their own devices, they will either burn the world to ash or drown it in an endless ocean.
Yes.
So where exactly do human beings fit due to this apocalyptic tug of war?
Humanity represents the element of earth, or soil, which the texts refer to as to. And it's symbolized by the color yellow. Because we sit in the precise center of the three powers, our biological and spiritual job is to be the ultimate mediator. We are the cosmic shock absorbers.
We're the buffer zone preventing those 9-year floods and 7-year droughts.
Yeah.
Visually, I think the easiest way to understand this is to look at the South Korean flag.
Oh, yeah, that's a great visual.
Right in the center, you have the red half representing fire and yang, and the blue half representing water and yin. But they don't just smash into each other in a straight line.
No, there's that perfect undulating curve separating them.
Exactly. The human role is to be that curving boundary. We weave between the extremes, constantly adjusting, absorbing the heat of the fire and the cold of the water so they don't consume each other.
And the source material offers an even deeper, more resonant analogy for this mediating role. It's the concept of the yellow underpainting.
Oh, this might be the most beautiful mechanical explanation in the entire text.
It's so good.
When an artist begins a massive oil painting on a blank canvas, they don't just start throwing red and blue paint around. They often sketch the foundational structure, the composition, the lighting, the skeletal layout of the entire masterpiece using yellow paint.
Right, that yellow underpainting dictates where everything else goes. It's the hidden architecture.
But by the time the artist is finished and the painting is hung in a gallery for the world to see, the yellow has completely disappeared. It is entirely covered by the vibrant colors of the foreground.
It did all of the critical foundational work to hold the universe of the canvas together, but it never asks for the viewer's attention.
It's the ultimate expression of hidden virtue. Humanity's cosmic role is to be that yellow underpainting. We're supposed to hold the volatile forces of yin and yang together, carefully manage the balance, and then willingly, intentionally fade into the background without seeking any credit whatsoever.
Conceptually, it makes total sense. We're the mediators, the underpainting, the center axle, but we have to address the physical mechanics of this. Like, how is a human being actually capable of doing this?
Right. What makes a biological creature strong enough to stand between the cosmic forces of heaven and earth and balance them?
It all comes down to the fact that we are literally built from both sides of the equation. We have a dual makeup. The biological and the spiritual are fused together in a way that doesn't exist anywhere else in the cosmos.
The texts introduce two crucial operational concepts to explain this machinery: Han and Bake.
Yes. Han represents the human soul. It originates directly from heaven, and it is the embodiment of extreme yang energy.
Okay.
Bake represents the corporeal body and physical memory. It originates directly from Earth, and it's the embodiment of extreme yin energy.
And the sources use this brilliant modern analogy to bridge this ancient metaphysical concept into something incredibly tangible.
Mm,
They compare the relationship between Han and Bake to the architecture of a computer.
I love this part.
Han, the heavenly soul, the yang energy, is like a computer's CPU, the central processing unit. A CPU is constantly moving, it's processing massive amounts of data, creating new calculations, and as a byproduct, it generates a massive amount of heat.
Right, yang energy. And Bake, the earthly body, the yin energy, is like the computer's RAM or its hard drive. The memory doesn't generate heat or process new thoughts. Its entire function is to store data, to remember, to keep everything stable, grounded, and cool.
And you cannot have a working computer with just a CPU. If you have a processor with no memory, it can think a million thoughts a second, but it can't save a single one of them. It has no anchor.
Exactly. On the flip side, RAM without a CPU is just a brick of metal. It has all the memory in the world, but it can't process a single new idea. They are entirely dependent on each other to function.
Which is exactly what makes human life so incredibly potent. The texts detail the mechanics of what happens at the exact moment of physical death.
The computer system separates.
Right. The CPU, detaches and goes back up to heaven to become a spirit, which is known as Shin. The Bake, the memory drive, goes back down into the earth and becomes a ghost, known as Gui.
And when you put those two syllables together, gui and shin, they form the Korean word for ghost or spirit, gwishin.
The elegance of that linguistic combination is mind-blowing because it highlights exactly why being alive is so important. A spirit has a CPU, but no memory drive to anchor it to the physical world. A ghost has memory, but no CPU to process new growth.
But right now, while you are walking around breathing, you possess both. You are the ultimate supercomputer.
It completely reframes the human experience. We aren't just sitting in a waiting room hoping to become enlightened spirits after we die.
No, our current physical state, the very act of holding both Han and Bake together inside our organs, is the only mechanism powerful enough to keep the universe balanced.
Because spirits cannot mediate the Taiji world. Ghosts cannot stop the floods or the droughts. Only a living human being operating as the yellow underpainting has the hardware required for the job.
It's an overwhelming responsibility, really.
It is. So let's pull all this together for you listening.
Yeah.
You are not a biological accident. You are not a mathematically insignificant speck floating in a cold, dead void.
Far from it.
According to Daesun Jinriho, you are the indispensable core of reality. You're the ultimate cosmic mediator, a living, breathing combination of a heavenly CPU and an earthly memory drive. Your virtues are the gears of the seasons. Your organs are the batteries of the cosmos.
And your ultimate purpose is to balance those terrifying, volatile forces of yin and yang so the universe doesn't tear itself apart.
Which brings us to a fascinating final thought for you to mull over, building on that concept of hidden virtue versus visible virtue.
Yeah, thinking about our modern trajectory. In today's hyper-connected, social media-driven world where every single good deed is filmed and posted for likes, which is, the ultimate small person visible virtue, how can we actually practice being the yellow underpainting?
It's a huge question. So here is our challenge for you. Try doing one significant thing for someone else this week where you absolutely guarantee you will never, ever get the credit for it.
Yeah.
Be the yellow underpainting and just see how that cosmic mediation feels.
It changes everything.
It really does. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning the systems around you, keep exploring the cosmos within you, and we will catch you next time.